Rocking. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Open Late Podcast. It's your boy Nev.
And I'm Kev. What's going on?
Kev's in a little hurry today.
I'm late. I'm not in a hurry. You're in a hurry. I'm just late.
So I'm in a hurry because I got to the vet for the second time. She got a blood test. But Kev overslept, so we're over here scrambling. But it's all good. We made it happen. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. We were supposed to start at 7:30, but we're starting anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To my defense, I did work last night and then came home and then tried to go to bed, and then you texted me at like midnight, hey, could we do earlier? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I set 3 alarms. I didn't even sleep through them. None of them went off. So I don't know if like when I clicked it, if I did it, I don't know. You know how there's like a little green tab on the side. So when I set them, usually it's like, okay, I'm setting it because I want it on. You know,
but you clicked it off.
But I didn't hit anything. It's just normally once you set the alarm, the deal is like armed. You know, it's ready to rock. And I don't know, something happened, but I naturally woke up on my own
at exactly 7:30.
It was like 7:27, 7:28, and I'm like, oh fuck! I went back and looked at my alarms, and like none of them went off. So I was like, I didn't sleep through it. I was like, I gotta go. I threw my shit together.
And then fucking traffic. You got the morning.
I got schools on every side of me. Mm-hmm. So, but it's all good. We made it happen.
We're here,
we started literally within that 30-minute window. Which,
it's crazy. 30 minutes ago, you were cuddled up in bed.
I know. I was. Woke up with anxiety. I was like,
that's the way to start the day, though.
What time is it? I was like,
dude, that'll wake you up, though. It'll jumpstart everything for you. The whole rest of your day is just going to get easier now.
Yeah, the bags under my eyes got unpacked quick. There was no time to be drowsy. I was like adjusting my eyes in my truck. I was like, yo, I literally ran in my office, threw my shit on. I was like, okay, it's bounce.
Yeah, it's time to rock and roll.
We're here. We're all good. And shit, it feels good to be back. So
yeah, man. Feels good to be back, bro. So yeah, dude. I heard up on what is it now? 1 year of sobriety?
Almost. It's September, so 9 months.
All right, man. And for those of you that don't know, Kev is coming up on what is it? 1 year now of sobriety?
Just about. Yeah, 9 months. We talked about it before, but just to touch back on it, as you kind of said, for those that haven't seen the podcast, it was just at New Year's. I won't go and say the whole story of that day. You can go back and watch those other episodes if you want to, but basically, it was New Year's Eve. I decided that day, I was like, okay. I think I'm done. You know,
and it wasn't like a big event or nothing that led up to that, right? It's just kind of like you woke up one day and you just decided, you know what, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that led to it. I have alcoholism on both sides of my family. Some of my family succumbed to that, and I don't have an addictive personality. You know, I can take it or leave it, and I'm very fortunate that I'm that way. But I'm a redliner. Like I push the limits, and I, you know, by nature have a high tolerance, and so that also didn't play well with one another. Me just being wild and then just drinking, and I'm a binge drinker. And it's funny because this is like 2 years before, about 2 years before, you know, obviously New Year's. So when I was still at the nightclub, the first time I had taken time off of alcohol, which ended up being 3 months, I did that because I was feeling like I wanted to change or to do something different. And to being at the nightclub, I've told you this, and I may have said it on here, but it was in that environment, and you're seeing everybody just getting fucked up all the time and being outside of themselves.
Turned off from it.
A little bit. Not so much, because like dude, I was getting fucked up at the nightclub, and you know, as a employee, not as a patron, you
So
know.
you were taking shots with everybody.
Yeah, we were
that was
doing
over
shift
there.
shots. We were vibing. It was
Yeah.
never like I couldn't do my job. I mean, like we were having a great time. So it wasn't like that the alcohol was the issue. I think it was more or less like having the clarity and ownership of your mind started to become more important to me. And to see that like people's faculties fall apart and people's morals fall apart and people's like it just having argumentative conversations about things that could have otherwise been productive if you weren't intoxicated is what became like the plethora of what I was seeing, as well as experiencing myself. You know, having a conversation with somebody that's drunk and also stubborn is like the worst cocktail there
nothing
is.
you say to them will ever get
It's
through.
like and then you become infantile through that, like as if you're yelling at a wall or arguing with a wall because you understand that their ears are not working. They're only wanting to be heard. They're not wanting. So I started to notice a lot of that. And I'm like, and I'm a conversationalist by nature. Obviously, we do a podcast. You know, like a lot of what I do is speaking and it's what I enjoy doing. So to not be able to have those conversations that I even through intoxication to some degree could have.
You had some like very prolific philosophical thoughts throughout, like, you know, while being intoxicated too, you know. But I noticed that even though you stopped drinking, like you still have those thoughts. So it's not like that part of.
No, but see, that was part of the intrigue of doing it was like, who am I without it? Because that was when I would write.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was just turning my brain off, or at least quieting the overwhelming thoughts that I'm just getting all the time. So I was like, alcohol really helped that. And then it was like the stuff that I was trying to focus on could kind of seamlessly come through a little, you know, with a little more ease than this like fighting for which thought is, you know,
it takes priority in your mind.
Exactly. So that was a scary part for me because in that thick of it was still music and me writing poetry and writing, you know, stories and stuff like that and writing scripts. It was all these things that like I enjoy to do. I'm like, I wonder if that goes away if I become sober.
Yeah.
And then that was like the whole trap of like the Bukowskis and the, you know,
like romanticizing alcoholism along with creativity and how the two interconnect with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had those thoughts too. Like when I was drinking a lot back in like the early 2020s, bro. It's just like, that was the time to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like the world was shut down. We were just like in our houses. A lot of people drank a lot during 2020, 2021.
Dude, the sales of alcohol went through the roof.
Through the roof. Because people were depressed. There was uncertainty in the world, you know, and that was like.
That was the only thing to do.
It was the only thing to do. It was a critical time period. And we're also like in our 20s at the time, you know, like. Yeah. So it was very accessible. There was a lot of spare time. Even if you're hungover the next day, it's not like we had to go to work or some shit. The world was shut down.
Right.
So
yeah, so you could wake up hungover and put on Zoom and act like you were in a work meeting.
Yeah. It was like
you could do that with college. Like I get what you mean.
Yeah, it was kind of beautiful, but also it was very crazy because I feel like during COVID, a lot of people had new vices develop, you know, and people that had prior to COVID, they just doubled down on those, you know?
Yeah.
You had a lot of alcohol addiction, a lot of people started with the puff bars. Now half the generation's addicted to nicotine.
Yeah, a lot of overdose. A lot of things happened during that time. But yeah, dude, I mean, because we did our fair share of drinking during COVID. We had a different experience, which we, were fortunate enough to experience to some degree, is like, given that we were dealing with COVID, we were in LA, we were in the studio, we were making music, we were the social point for everybody that was wanting to create and hang out and come through. And so, to I don't know, to take inventory of my life to that point, it was like who I was becoming, and it was like, how far does one go in the pursuit of keeping up a facade before they realize that that is not who they really are, and there's something else, and you can't shake it. Like, no matter what you do, you feel it. No matter where you go, you feel it. No matter how much more you participate in the activity, you feel it. It was like this. The alcohol started to not be as enticing, and I'm fortunate and thankful for that feeling, because instead of me being like, nah, I'm all in, it was like there was like something that I knew I wanted out of myself that I was not getting, and I realized alcohol may have started to be the thing preventing me from that, and then I had to figure out what it was. And ultimately it was just having purpose, or having having an ability to look at myself in the mirror and recognize who that person is. Because I didn't. I was like, I've kind of like grown into this thing,
This persona.
this human
Yeah.
that I don't really know. Like there's aspects that come through of like the stuff that like really makes me feel alive, that I'm like, okay, there's something there. But if you look down at what my entire schedule of the day and the other days prior to it was like, drinking and chilling and although functional and stuff, and like it was just, that was so much of all the constant activity. You go to families, events, drinking, alcohol, and there's always plethora and always plenty. And then it's the following day, you wake up, you're hungover, you go get breakfast, more alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, through the week, I wouldn't drink and stuff like that. Or when I was at the nightclub, maybe take a shot or whatever. But fast forward now to that point, whenever I was in the apartment, I was still working at Rancho. And I don't know how I happened upon it, truthfully. I was thinking about this last night, but I ended up with the big book. That's what they call it. It's the AA book.
You have a copy of it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Where now? I don't know. I'm sure in a box from when we moved, but it's not in my stack of books that I've actually.
So you
read.
like took this seriously?
No, because I was in my mind thinking, I think I'm gonna get sober. Like I think I'm gonna not. I at that point was not like forever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that. It was like, I think I'm gonna take a break, and I was like, I'm gonna go. It was like 3 months to my birthday. I was like, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this time leading up to that point, and then I'll have my next drink on my birthday. Set myself a little milestone, which is not always good, especially when you're in the pursuit of sobriety. For those people that really do like struggle on a daily basis with coming over that. We could talk about that later, but goals are not always the best thing to set for yourself.
Because then you're going to let yourself down if you don't achieve it.
Yeah, and that becomes like an impending, like, okay, well, when then you start getting like achievable anxiety. That's like once you get closer to the goal, you start getting anxious about what is life after the goal.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's the pursuit to the goal that keeps you on track. And then once you get there, you have to then in turn think, did I negotiate with myself to then have a drink because I achieved the goal? Or does the goalpost move? Once I get here, do I just keep pushing it forward? And then if I keep doing that and I keep pushing the goalpost forward, then I'm setting myself a never an achievable way to get to the goalpost because it's always moving.
Yeah.
So then you get fatigued, you get tired, you get mentally drained over this. Like every day just starts to feel like the same thing, and it's chasing the goalpost that you're gonna then move when you get close, and that's.
You're like playing keep away with yourself.
Yeah, and that then people end up getting to a breaking point with themselves. We're like, fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna drink. Like, fuck it. I might as well drink and then start over, and at least then I haven't. It's like then that becomes the game, you know. So go ahead.
So like, I know culture and society, we put a big emphasis on celebrating things with alcohol. You celebrate big milestones, big achievements, important days, weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, like all of these things. Alcohol has become a very social factor amongst all of them. So like my question is, like, as somebody that's sober now, how would you look at, like, how do you celebrate? Like, what is celebration to you now? Because in the past, celebrating to you meant like, yeah, we're gonna bring out beer bong Kev, we're gonna go pass it around, everybody's gonna share a beer in the fucking beer bong, we're gonna party it up, we're gonna have shots of this, shots of that, we're gonna drink this whiskey, you know what I'm saying? We went from that, the beer pong era, to like, the new version of you, which is clean cut, put together, very gentleman-like. So like, how do you deal with celebrating like big important life events now without alcohol? Or do you not?
No, you do. It really is different, and I won't sit here and lie to anybody that like nothing changed, bro. I'm still the same me. It's like I'm really not, and I think that's a good thing because the essence of who I am that made people be like, Kev's here, like yo, it's kind of like that hasn't left, and that was something that I'm like, oh, okay, that's like the essence of who I am. It's just you're getting it in a different way, and I had to be okay with that because that was a big change for me because I've always been providing a service for people. Being at the nightclub, I'm providing a good time. I'm setting it up to where you're gonna have the maximum enjoyment of your moment to only with what I obviously can control. But that was like you said in social events. Like I'm the one that gets people going. You seem like you're shy. I'm gonna bring you out of your shell. Like yo, let's take a shot. Da 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 da. Make people feel comfortable and
And also hosting.
yeah, and I love like queuing it up for people. You know, making everybody a plate. Like I enjoy that. And then I'm like, okay, how much of that goes away? Because you hear a lot of people get sober and they isolate, right? Because they feel that who was in those environments is no longer fit that. And so they feel out of place. They feel odd. They feel like
Awkward.
disassociated. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And so that's where the double parter is like, that doesn't bother me. Like I have no issues with going around hanging out with people. My problem though is you build up a different tolerance for wanting to be around it. So like when you start drinking, the first couple are great. People that have become a little bit more sociable. So now for me being sober, it's like, cool, I'm just kind of talking with everybody and we're having good conversations.
They're
People
coming
feel
out of their shell on their own. You're not the one having to bring them out. They're coming to you now.
So I'm having a good convo with them. Everything's great. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Like this could last for me, you know, however long. And then it's like the couple more drinks get in. And then the conversations stop being intellectual. They stop being fun, and they start being like, I'm talking to a grown baby right now. Like, you get people that are fucking like, hey, yeah, dude, like, fucking golf tomorrow, bro. Like, dude, you're
so
fucking
your ass
awesome.
is not gonna wake up at 7 a.m. for golf tomorrow.
And then I'm like, and so it's just like all those kinds of things that, just that, but this is an example. But yeah, you start to be like, oh, like, when you're also in that headspace, you're both are like in this shared frequency, and it makes sense. And that's why it's a social thing and why it's like fun and enticing to be like, yeah, I want to be on that level because I don't want to feel exiled from the group, because you know that's what you are. You're mentally exiled when you're not able to be in that headspace, that the mass of everybody you're with. So to some, it would be enticing, be like, nah, I need to crack me a bottle. I want to get as quick as I can. I need to get to that because the ship is leaving and I don't want to be here in my own island that is watching everybody have a good time.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
I prefer to be on that island.
You like being on the island?
Yeah, I'll tell you why, but go ahead.
I don't know, bro. Because like for me, I'm not sober by choice. Like I kind of have to be because of the medication that I'm on, you know, for my heart issues and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So it's like, as me transitioning now remission into like normal life, quote unquote, it's like, how do you get back out your 20s in the clubs, you know, meeting people, socializing, going to events, going to concerts, all of these things when all the people around you are fucking drunk as shit, having a great time, and you're just kind of standing there just like totally clear-headed, just watching everybody very calm, not at all in the same frequency as everybody else. Like me going to events now, like having to be like not drinking, you know, it puts me like, it makes me feel a little awkward being at these events. Like, so for you, like now, like being around these types of things, because all your friends still drink. You know?
And I partake in being around those environments. Like I've kind of always been a little bit recluse. Like I'm not big on like parties, and I'm not big on like clubs.
Which is crazy because you were the party guy.
I know, but I think it's because like my purpose in that was like providing a good time. I didn't like the club. I fucking hate the club. Like, you will never see me be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go like see what's happening, da 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 da. I'm gonna go pull up to the club. Like when I was off of work, bro, you would never see me step foot in Rancho. Like I'm not gonna go there and go vibe, and then the people that would want to, I'm like, go have a good time, bro. Like I don't care. Like that's just not my thing. So like, I don't know, like that part of it was easy for me growing up too. Like when I was 21, bro, you'd never see me at Club Rain or Palladium or anything like that. Like I went there maybe once, check it out, something to do when you become of age. That's it.
I prefer dive bars and house parties.
Dive bars are great. House parties are awesome, especially if you're the one that's either throwing it or you're cool with the people throwing it.
Yep.
Because then you have a little bit more free range to provide that good time and get people going, because you never want to step on toes when you're at someone's house. You know, you're like, you don't know them or shit. But
like all the parties at my house, you're the one floating around, offering everybody a shot, grabbing a beer out the sink, out of the ice chest. You know, like it was cool.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's I don't think that any of that changed for me. It was I think it was the reason why I liked being on the island, so to speak, is because it just felt like I was on a path that for the first time like nobody knew about. And what I mean was like it just felt like there was something for me. Like selfishly, it was something for me. Like music, everybody fucking knew about it. And like great. Like that was the point. But it was like every time the first thing everybody asks is like, yo, how's the music? What's LA like? What's going on?
What's
Da
your
da da
identity?
da. And I'm like, that's awesome. I have no problem with that. Granted, like I get shy about it, and like when people like give me praise, like we talked about that before. Like I'm not great at accepting it. I get real like nervous.
Like the girl that
Yeah, like I get visibly nervous. Like I don't know if they recognize it, but in myself, I could immediately feel like this like switch go off where I'm like I
oh
get
my
like
god, are you that podcaster?
yeah, and that to me is odd. But what was I saying? Sorry, my fucking brain is leaving
You're
me.
talking about how like you like being on the island.
Oh right, yeah. So that for me right now, it felt like this was for me. Like I wasn't going around telling nobody that I was sober. Like it never once came out of my mouth in conversation like, "Hey, dude, check it out." Like,
Yeah.
no, it was just unless people asked like, "Hey, like,
You
why
wanna
aren't you
drink?
drinking?" Because especially for me,
Yeah, because
for
then you
people
have
that
to
didn't
explain.
know, yeah, people are like, "Wait, like, why are you like, is something wrong?" Like, I'm gonna say, "No, I'm,
Pregnant.
yeah, right." I'm like, I'm with child. I was just like, "No, I'm good." Like, I would just tell people like, "No, thank you, I'm cool, I'm good right now." And then it became the, yo, he also said no to me. Like, is
Yeah,
like,
we started talking among that era because me, content, D-Ducks, like back in LA, we would
Mhm.
love to drink. And you pulled up one time to LA and we were trying to go drink
for
or
Connie's birthday.
birthday at the brewery.
Mhm.
And everybody's having beers, and you didn't want one. So that was like the first of us. And then we started talking to each other like, hey, Kev didn't drink today. It's a little off. It's a little
Yeah.
odd. Why?
Yeah, and I think that all of that was before also too I got sober. I think I was
That was
just
your
like,
first
I was,
3-month trial of it.
yeah, I was like flirting with it, and then there had been times I took a month off, then 3 months, but then every time I'd come back, like I never left. I'd be fucking in there, dude. I'd be
Yeah.
getting after it, and um, but yeah, sobriety felt like it was just something for me, and I felt like I needed it to be quiet about it because I didn't want this. I didn't want praise for it, and I don't. Like, it's nice when somebody's like, "Hey, man, like I heard like you're not drinking." Like, dude, I like people have told me that I wish I could do that, and that's
I
me.
wish I could do that. I can't.
And that's like, dude, that should be an alarming thing. And I'm not telling anybody that they should get sober unless that's what they feel like they need to do. You know, I always say like, follow your spirit. Like, if you feel that you're being called to do something, typically, your higher power, whoever that may be, and whatever it may be to you, it's God for me, but I felt like it was this constant, like, I'm walking through a labyrinth of mirrors, and every which way I turn to try and get out of the maze, I'm just met with myself. And it's like, I turn this way, and it's like, there I am. And then it's like, and it was always this, like, I had to realize that the labyrinth of mirrors, you start to realize that you're not the one with the answer. You need to be the one that stops looking through yourself for the answer and start looking to something outside of yourself, which for me was God. It was like, okay, well, what do you need from me? In order for me, if I put it down on paper, I say, please, like, if there's something that I'm meant to do outside of myself that is larger, that you are calling me to do, put like these guidelines or at least these visible things that like markers that can show me that, okay, you're not going to tell me, hey, this is your destiny, but whichever things can nudge me onto that path that I know that I'm on the right one and I'm not wasting my life and my time, and at this point I'm 30.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. I've been so fortunate by the grace of God with cystic fibrosis and everything, and that's also something that I know you wanted me to talk about more. But it's like, I've been so blessed and fortunate. And I told you, like, the guardian angel he's put on my life has been working overtime, because how many times I've faced death, how many times I should have died from accidents and just wild shit in my life, that it's like, here I am, here I stand. And then you have survivor's guilt, where you see the people that are better humans to some degree and regard, that have put their lives in order. They take their life serious. They're out here with urgency, and their life is taken. They're the one that have like fucked up shit happen, and then here I stand drinking my ass off, doing what I want to do. It's like, It just felt like it was self-serving in a way that didn't align with who I wanted to be or what I felt like my reason for being here was. And then I start to think, like, what did I do that was purest to me during the alcohol? And that was providing something to people, providing some form of positivity or
hospitality.
yeah, it's just something.
Time.
So I'm like, okay, how now without alcohol, what am I in that? Does it increase? Does it become better? Does it become more prevalent in my life? Is it what does that look like? And it was scary, and I think that's why I did it. It was the fear of, who am I on the other side of this? What do I look like? What do the people look like around me? Because I'm no longer providing that to them. And the one thing that I learned is, like, nobody loved me any different. All the love was the same. There was a sense of taking myself more serious than I did before, standing on my morals and the grounds in which that I'm like, yes and no mean yes and no to me. Doesn't mean maybe, it doesn't mean kinda, it's yes and no.
Doesn't mean we could sway you, we can convince you. Like, we all know too, like, how disciplined you are with your own mindset. When you literally say something that you're gonna do, you always carry through on it. Otherwise, you wouldn't say it. If you're not gonna do it, you don't even mention it. So it's like the first that you weren't gonna drink after we offered you a drink, like, it kind of clicked to me too. I was like, oh, like there wasn't a real reason why he said he wasn't gonna drink, but the fact that he said he wasn't gonna drink, I know he's not gonna drink for a very long time.
Yeah.
And that's just based off your character, what we already know about you, you know? So you're very disciplined with yourself. Like, the way that you bunker down on your expectations for you, which I feel like a lot of people could benefit from, you know? So, like, how, like, for somebody sober, has never been sober, has struggled with being sober, how would you talk to that person to attempt it for their first time?
I would say that there's no single path within it that is going to give you the answer, going to give you the motivation indefinitely. So my issue with, and why I didn't finish the book, and I'm not going to speak on anything other than my own experience with it, but like I said, like, and to kind of circle back around, I don't know how I happened upon that AA book. I don't know, but it was.
You didn't buy it on Amazon.
No.
How did it just show up in your house?
No, I don't know if, like, somebody gave us, like, a bunch of stuff and that was, like, amongst it. Like, I know I had gotten, like, records and, like, people would, like, have books and shit, and I don't know. I want to say it was Daisy from her work, because she's in social services, and I want to say she had been given, like, a plethora of books, like, for dealing with certain people that are, like, parents that are trying to get their children back, and I'm sure that that's how that ended up in the house. Truthfully, I'll ask her when I get home or later, but I'm pretty sure that if I had to guess, it came from her. Now, she wasn't gonna read it. It was just sitting there. I was by myself in the morning. She would leave to work. I worked at the nightclub, so you know, I would be chilling. And I would have my coffee and I would read. Well, I kept seeing this kind of stare at me, and I'm like, you know what?
Let me read this.
It wasn't because I was looking to be sober. It was because I was looking to be like, is this like a crock of shit? Because you hear all these people being like, you know, AA doesn't work, or AA works, or AA changed my life, or AA provided me with, like, a support group. And I'm like, okay, well, if it has a utility, let me figure it out. So I could discern for myself, you know? And I read, like, the backstory on who, like, you know, the creators of it were, and the reason behind it, and and that was interesting. But they took what worked for them and they made it the entire principle of what it means to get sober, which is, I think, that a good aspect of it, which is like a social group, having people come together that are dealing with the same kind of things that you're dealing with. But then, like, I wonder that sometimes on a pursuit that is not yours alone, it's hard when you then start to do what humans do, which is a comparing thing, or like a creating a totem within, like, what you're doing. So if your sobriety is now attached to the AA and the AA is no more,
and now
where does your sobriety go?
Yeah, because I mean, people also find
right, and then it becomes like this is only possible because of this. You know, this is only without this, I'm not strong. Without this, so you put all your power into a construct or an entity, which I'm not saying is negative. I'm not saying AA is doing anything bad. What I'm saying is like the human psychology is like a lot of people that are weak and have not found that within themselves will attach it onto something else. That's what people do with partners. They rely emotionally on their partner for everything. So therefore, when their partner's not around, they feel like they can't function. They can't make basic fucking decisions. They can't do this, that, and the third. And then it puts a lot of burden and stress on their partner, right? That's just the way that it fucking goes. And so then people do that with entities, like with church, with this, religion. With religion, exactly. Like, and then through that, then they develop their own pedestal. Well, I'm part of this community, and this is what we do.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so therefore,
political beliefs, everything.
Yes, yeah. It's one of the gross things that we have within us, and it's like you have to constantly check that and leave it at the door. Like, and if you can humble yourself through that, I think it's gonna be better of service to you. But without going down that path, which is another like great psychology behind like people putting too much of themselves into something and then like identifying with it and then making that the moral hierarchy of how they view the world and how they treat other people, yeah,
based on your own
and that's
beliefs.
why I said too in one of my writings that I haven't published, but I'm thinking about starting to publish some of them, but this one in particular was I was talking to my buddy and this is like the first thing that came to my mind in the topic where I was saying religion is best used as a mirror, not a window. And I think that's the same thing with everything. It's like it's whatever it is that you're using in your life, it should be best used as a mirror and not a window. A mirror so you can self-reflect and look at yourself as being the culprit, as being the liberator and the captor, is putting that on yourself to understand that you are the one with the key and also the one with the lock. Like you are both in the same, and you've split yourself into taking responsibility for each of those things and then looking at the world as that's the thing to blame, not internalizing that you're the one that's also in charge of liberating yourself. So as if you were to use it as a window, that's whenever you start to not look at yourself, you look at the world. You try to identify with this, or you try to be against this, or you try to find that I don't like the way that yours doesn't align with the way that I think, so you're the evil one. You're the one that's the captor. You're the one that's enslaving people, when you don't look ever inside and be like, oh, like maybe it's fucking me. And I think that that's the thing with sobriety. That's the thing with substances, is that you start to look at the world as the thing that's affecting you. And then when you look at something as surmountable or as large as the world, you're like, well, I can't fix that. I can't fix it.
It feels too overwhelmed.
Yeah, so let me numb myself to make it more tolerable. When truly you're numbing yourself because you're intolerable. You can't tolerate yourself, and that's why you find infractions. That's why you find disturbances in your environment everywhere you turn, because it's you. Well, there's something in you.
The grand scheme of life also, you look at the world as a big, intimidating, scary place full of uncertainty. So, like, how do you fit into the world? You know, people that feel displaced emotionally or just like people with lower self-esteem, lower confidence, or people who have been through some shit, some bad shit has happened to you, some trauma has happened to you. You know, we run to these substances because that's the only place we feel safe.
Of course, yeah, I'm example of doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, dude. It's like numbing yourself is awesome. Like,
yeah.
And I don't want to advocate for people doing that, but like, I'm just going to be bluntly honest. Like, dude, like my favorite fucking thing to do, and wasn't like for abuse. It was just like, it was part of the ritual, as part of the plethora of things that I would do. And although, like I said, because I don't have an addictive personality, I was able to go and do this and then not have it for months. And then when the opportunity came around, I would do it again. And
was it shrooms?
No. I'll still do shrooms now.
Yeah.
No, but this was like, the 1,000 mg yellows on the days that I relax. You know what I mean? So like, that was like, dude, there is nothing better.
What are MGLOs?
That's
Codone?
Like, no, yeah, it's hydrocodone, it's Vicodin. But it was back in the day, they would give you 1,000 milligram or whatever. So it'd be 10 milligram or whatever. We would just call them thou-house.
Yeah.
Call them the thousands. And then like, but it would be uncut.
Hydrocodone is Percocet, right?
No.
Those are different things?
Well, hydrocodone is Vicodin. I don't know if that's the same name given to Percocets or anything, but an opioid, essentially. Okay. So let's just say an opioid. Vicodin was the one that I had taken. I didn't really fuck around with like any of like the oxys and shit like that. They were also super expensive and hard to get. And like, although I knew people that had them, like I just was like, I'm cool. Like I got kind of what I needed from like the Thou Wow, and I didn't take them enough to build up a tolerance. But anyways, point being is like I would take it from time to time, or if it was around, or I get my hands on one, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I'll take a Thou Wow, and sometimes 2.
That's crazy.
Most I've taken is 3.
I mean, people can OD off that.
Sure, yeah, especially if you're drinking, you know. But I wasn't drinking while taking them. I also didn't like the way it made me feel. I liked things individually. If I was drinking, I was just drinking. I didn't smoke. I didn't crossfade. But if I was like gonna pop a pill for just a vibe and coast through the day and just like be kind of like real loose and like warm and fuzzy inside, then like I would just do that. I wouldn't then go also drink.
Yeah,
because they're 2 different experiences for me, and I like to separate them. But yeah, one of my favorite things to do is if I was hungover, or if it was just a chill day, I would get a sugar-free Red Bull, 1,000
those two totally counteract each other too. The Red Bull will even out the other one.
No, it's not going to even each other out. They're 2 completely different things. One's a compound that's changing your endorphins in your body. The energy drink's not doing shit for you.
Oxycodone's a depressant.
Yeah, but energy drink, I could drink a fucking 100 energy drinks. They still won't counteract the intensity and what that digestion is doing with the Vicodin.
Really?
Yeah, no, not at all. That's like you're talking about something like taking maybe like a melatonin and then drinking a coffee. That's going to counteract one another. They're more on the line of in the realm of one another. A Vicodin is so strong, you could drink the strongest coffee in the world and it's not going to phase what that's doing as a painkiller and soothing your body. It's just 2 different feelings. If anything, you're getting stimulated mentally, so you're not drowsy. Because like if you take 1,000, or if you take 10 milligram, or if you take like 2 or whatever, your body will feel awesome. But if you're not moving and doing something, your eyes will start going like this, and
like
they become so heavy that you just want to lay there and you can't fall asleep. So you just lay there feeling awesome. So I like to be out there getting after it, doing stuff, you know. So having caffeine with it, at least it bypasses the sleepy side of it, and then you're just like, it's fucking creepy. So I would do that, and then like I get like a bag of peanut M&Ms, dude.
That was your go-to. That's funny.
That was a little fucking
favorite thing to do in LA.
The little degenerate snack right there.
My favorite thing to do in LA during COVID, bro, was to smoke a J on the porch in the morning, like early in the morning, like 6 a.m., 6:30, like sun is rising.
Wake and bake.
You smoke a J. Then I will walk down to Starbucks. We boycott and cancel Starbucks now, but back then we didn't. So I would walk down to Starbucks, get me a little blonde double espresso, go back to the porch, smoke the rest of my joint, and I'll go in the house, make a nice breakfast, bro. Dude, it was such a good time, man.
Yeah.
Nothing.
See, that becomes like a very and
it could become a ritual like that.
If it's advantageous to you,
yeah,
and you know that, okay, like, do I agree with that as like being a ritual? No, but in the sense of like if that's the thing that then motivated you to then go and make a record, and that ended up being the best record you made in months, then it's like great. But don't attach yourself to the reason why you were able to make that record is because of the ritual, because then that becomes I have to do it every time or I can't make music. That's what it became, to, again, circling back to another point, which is it's awesome that like the fluidity of the conversation leads back to these like moments. But that became the thing, right? When I'm writing or when we're on the porch and having these philosophical, I'm fucking hammered. And you guys are like asking me to talk about certain things because it's just naturally where my mind goes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So like I'll just be shooting the shit with you guys. There's also a part of me that's like, bro, can I do this without it? But I'll be like 2 in the moment. Then it's like when the conversation was over, like I'll be like, all right, let me take a little puff of this. Cause then I'll be like, I'll go inside, and before you even make it to your room, I'm on the couch fucking out, you know?
I remember.
And
or eating cheesy ramen.
Yeah. Fucking I don't know, dude. It's like it is though. It's like doing certain things like that where it's like, all right, what am I without it? That was the big intrigue for me. Also, too, I was like significantly forgetting what it means. Like I had thought I convinced myself forever that I loved myself because I wouldn't tolerate people disrespecting me. So I took that as in like love. Like I respect myself because
you won't let anyone talk.
I won't let nobody stand on my morals or like disrespect who I am as a person or what I provide, or like, because I knew I gave a lot of myself to people, so I had this like non-tolerance for accepting that. Well, I started to think like, bro, I think I hate myself. Like, I think I make other people respect me because I won't tolerate to not like I force them, but I mean like I don't accept it. Like, there's no reason why you need to be treating me like that. Like, I'm good to you. I'm like, well, why do I allow myself to disrespect myself? And it's like, because I'm not doing good to me. I'm like, so I hold other people to that moral standing because I know that I'm good to them. And I'm like, that's why I do it. I'm like, but why do I then hate myself? And it's like, because I don't respect myself. And I'm like, well, shit, I was convincing myself that I respected myself this whole time because of the way that I walked about this world. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's the respect you demand from the world because you know you're doing good by putting your foot forward and how you interact with the world. I was like, but every day the way that you interact with yourself is fucking harming yourself. It's ignoring your purpose, and that's why you feel lost in your music. That's why you feel lost on the piece of paper you're writing on. That's why you feel lost in your thoughts. You have no direction. You have no aim. You just wake up and you just do whatever is the fucking utilitarianism of what gives me the maximum
Return on
degree of
investment.
of satisfaction with the minimal downside. But I'm like, but then the downside is an investment that I'm investing myself to without recouping it now, and then that starts to pile and pile and pile and pile, and now that's larger than the satisfactory side of things. And now I have to look at this that's not going away, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do with all this? And then it becomes this overhanging loom over your life.
It's just a big weight on your shoulders at that point. It's just
and,
dragging you.
and it's a constant reminder of, look what you did to me today. Look what you do today. We said we weren't going to do that, and you did that. Like, I thought we weren't going to drink today, and now you had a drink and then 5 more. I thought we weren't. And so it was like, yeah, I have discipline for myself, but I was allowing myself to get away with it because externally I had a discipline for other things. So then this became like it's no biggie. Like, it is. I wasn't even thinking about it as being as big as it was until I realized that everywhere I turn, I see it. And it's me looking at me. And it's like, is this what you want, bro? Like, is this what you want? Music or not? Is this what you want? And yeah, I mean, without going further, but there was a part of it that I felt like through sobriety around the 6-month mark, I started getting like emotional and very not sensitive outside of myself, but like internally sensitive. Like, I started to feel like I kind of was like loving myself again and forgiving myself, and that made me sad because it was like, damn, like, here I am. And it felt like, and the visual that I had was that, and it kept replaying throughout the day of me like doing this act where it was this, I opened up a door and I didn't know what I was going to find in that door. And when I opened it, it was the young version of me curled up like this,
Fetal position, just
looking, yeah, it was like a young version of me. And I wonder if that was the age that never was able to grow or to expand, because that was the moment the infraction in my life happened that stunted me or put me in that room. And then my habits and decisions that I made onward was ensuring that no matter what it is I did, I forgot where that door was. Therefore, I never had to face it. And then I seen that that's what alcohol was doing for me. So my goal was to just find that door. And I did it. And when I found it, I wasn't looking for it. I think I was just doing the motions of just trying to clean myself, trying to love myself, trying to forgive myself. And when I did that, it was like I was moving brush out of the way. And every day I was just doing this and trying to just get a clear idea of where we're headed. And then right in front of me is the door. And I open this door and I see myself young, curled up, scared. And I realized that I was the one with the key. I was the one that put him in there and locked it. And I thought I was doing good by saying, I will protect us by ignoring. I will protect us by keeping you in there so you don't have to face this world. And that was when I became somebody different. That was when I became rough and hard and stern um and protective of myself, of the world, and that's who I became, forgetting that that's who I was hiding away in the pursuit of just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And then when the alcohol went away and I seen that, and I was like, oh, it was a deep amount of sadness where I just felt like, because I got to a place to like appreciate and love myself, that when I seen him, I just wanted to hug him and be like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean, for somebody that, like, there's people that have been struggling with alcoholism for their entire life, years, 60 years, however many years. Like, for you, you're what, 31?
Yeah.
So you could say like 15 to 20 years ish is like when you started drinking, right?
I'm 32.
32?
Yeah, I was just
Like-
thinking about it. I was like,
Drinking when you're 12? When was your first drink?
yeah. 12, 11.
Yeah, right.
12, yeah.
So, I mean, almost 20 years, you know, struggling with addiction, struggling with alcohol. But even then, it wouldn't even say it was addiction, would it?
Mm-mm.
I feel like it was more so habitual rather than an addiction.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like you couldn't go without alcohol. You weren't like sweating. You weren't like profusely throwing up or turning yellow.
No.
None of that.
No.
But you have the reflection and the introspection of somebody that has had like way more severe issues with alcohol than you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, does that come partly from just the way you are, the way you were raised, like somebody that's been struggling with alcohol their entire lives probably couldn't even make that same comparison and same, I don't even know the word, but like have those same thoughts that you just said out loud right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. It's crazy to see how introspective you are and how self-aware you are, because people go their entire lives not even thinking about things like that.
Yeah. I think it's just like the trying to have the courage to just look, like that's it. Like just have the courage to say, all right, whatever I find, I gotta be okay with it. Let me just look. And that's an inward pursuit. You got to do it internally. So like, no matter how many AA meetings you go to, no matter, and what all those can be advantageous for you to give you community, to give you, and I'm not saying anything negative about it. What I am saying though, is I think the real pursuit is the one internal. And you should look at the world as ways that you could then look in how you interact with that, and then also how you interact with yourself. Because I convinced myself that the way that I interacted with the world, of being tough and being strong and being not taking no shit and being protective of my space, that although is good, I was thinking that was it. I was thinking like, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the good stuff. And it wasn't until then I was like, oh, like there's a two-parter to that. Like I need to also do that for me in here. And that's whenever things became very more, specific and intentional. And I think that that's what it is. Like you have to move with intention. You have to do something where it's like, you could do it also for the people you love, but that will never get you to the end. Those are like little pit stops. I think like those are the people that you're like, I don't want to let them down, but ultimately I can't let myself down, because I have to do this for me so I could be everything they deserve from me.
So you can give your fullest to them.
Everything to them. And I was spreading myself too thin, and I knew one was going to break. I'm like, I can't maintain self-indulging into my older years and then it becoming like this, well, I've gone this far, I might as well keep going. It's like, all right, if there's ever a time where I have to make a decision, it's right now. And I knew that God was calling on me for that. He was saying like, yo, you really want to know what I have for you, then lock in. Like it's time. Like here's your opportunity. Like here it's time. And I think I was ready for it. And that's why it's like those things started to present themselves as like key indicators of like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay, I'm going to work on this. Okay, I'm going to take this more serious. I'm going to do these things. And also too, it's like we are not great at cutting things off. What we do is creatures of habit and ritual and community is is we fill voids. When there's craters in your soul, and in your life, you're not going to just be able to walk over it. It's not what we do. We fill it. We fill them. And you got to be careful on what it is you chose to fill in there, because then that becomes a part of you. That becomes the thing you've plugged in. That becomes the interface that now you're working with to help you through these certain things, like where it's like, I can't make music unless I smoke. I can't write poetry unless I drink. I can't do that unless I do that. I can't tolerate my kids and go over here and be the dad they need me to be unless I go smoke first, which is what a lot of people have to do, or they have to take a couple of drinks. Or
my dad, my dad, he can't go to sleep unless he drinks.
Right.
And he works like all weird hours of the night. Has to wake up 1:30 in the morning one night, 4 o'clock in the morning the next night, or whatever. It's just always different. So he'll be drinking by like 3 p.m. p.m. so he can fall asleep in time. And like my dad, like I grew up a lot surrounded by alcohol, because of my dad. Like he drank my entire life, but he was never like a drunk, that makes sense.
No, it's the same thing with our family that's like that.
Yeah, like he was probably the most productive alcoholic I've ever met. And granted, alcohol took away a lot of like core memories from like myself and my siblings, just because, half of our childhood, my dad was intoxicated or he was at work.
Right.
So it was either he's gone because he's working, or he's home, but he's not himself. So that's kind of what we dealt with our whole entire life. But at the same time, his philosophy was always drink so that he can work, so that he can provide. That was always the cycle.
Yep.
And that's kind of like what he always stood by and lived by. And it worked. Like my house, we all grew up used to it. Like my mom used to it.
Right.
Like it just became like, oh, that's just. But I always wonder, like, what life would have been like if he was sober. Like, would we have played catch? Would we have gone to basketball games? Would we have shot hoops in the driveway?
Yeah, your father and like a lot of parents, it becomes like a survival, mechanism in your life. Like, you think about sometimes as a man, the providing aspect and the providing factor outweighs everything else. So you, as the person that's providing, so your father himself is like, he's last on that totem pole. It's that he's not even regarding himself. All he's thinking about is, I am a tool. I need to be used in accordance to keeping everything going.
Yeah.
So I have to do this. I know it's probably not good for me, but I have to do it because this is going to help me get to here. And if I can't get to here, then I cannot get to here. And if I can't get to here, I cannot do the thing that is my purpose of what he's convinced himself that his purpose is. Although part of a purpose of being a parent is also it's providing, but it becomes this, that is my life now. That is the totem in which I live. It goes top to bottom, bottom to top. And then I, every time am disregarded to then have to start the cycle all the way back over so that I could just keep that going, just to keep the fluidity of what it is.
For years.
Yeah, the status quo. And then it becomes like, okay, like this is not maintainable or not sustainable for a long period of time, because your body's going to give, and your body's going to break and your body's going to go through things. And then it's like, at what point, how long can you hold on to doing that in hopes that my kids just need to get out of the house and be sustainable on their own, and then I'll worry about me, right? That's what a lot of parents do. Yeah. And then I'll care about me. And then what they end up doing is burdening the children that have now left the home to be like, now my father's sick. Now my mother's sick. Now
we have to take care of them.
Now we have to take care of them. Now I have to take time to take them to doctor's appointments all the time, which in some given circumstances, it's like you don't have that choice. Like terrible things happen to people. Like obviously, like we know current situations right now, but for people that are just purposely neglecting themselves to just do what they're trying to do, it doesn't make them a bad person at all. It's just like something that then becomes caution to the wind for somebody like you of saying like, oh, like it's not always looking at alcoholism as like the belligerent drunk that can't get out of bed and is sloppy and doesn't pay the bills and lives off the government. And it's like, no, there are a lot of people that are functioning alcoholics that need it to just keep the motor going.
Yeah, and I mean, there are some nights where you're belligerent,
Sure.
Not every night is a perfect night.
No, yeah. But the totality of what you're saying, though, is like you look at it as a productive system that keeps him going.
Yeah.
Because you've watched him also keep the house over your head.
Yeah.
Like figured it out, groceries in the cupboard. Like,
and he always says he doesn't need to buy anything for himself. He's never bought anything for himself. He won't even buy himself fucking new jeans, new pants.
Yeah.
He asked me for my old pants. This guy.
Yeah.
But the only thing he said he will treat himself with is whiskey.
Right,
and even then,
right,
it's
right.
not even expensive whiskey. Max, you'll spend $35 on Crown Royal. That's it.
Yeah, because he was rocking with the Johnny Walker.
He was
the
doing red
you were getting
labels.
them.
Yeah,
you were
red
getting
labels
them,
for
the
a while,
red
but he would never break the bread on a black label.
Right.
$57. You won't spend.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, like, if that's your one vice, at least enjoy your vice. You
Yeah,
know?
well, some people are like they like a specific kind that
Yeah.
they're not like whiskey connoisseurs.
No,
or
he
they're not,
likes black label. He just won't spend the money on it.
Oh, okay.
He'll drink it if it's gifted to him.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are we into it for? We keep talking. or
We're at
less
56 minutes. I think we should wrap.
okay, let's go. Let's last like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Touch on some other things. I know you had kind of jumped right into like the sobriety thing. So
Yeah.
on the next pod, being that we're kind of doing them a little bit shorter, I would like to bring up and for everyone listening that does want to hear more about the alcohol stuff, you guys could always reach out personally or comment and let us know what you want us to talk about in regard to that. And I know it's kind of all over the place. My brain doesn't always work the best of compartmentalizing topics because I just go from things So I hope that there was a little bit of clarity. I hope I made sense.
No, you made perfect sense.
And we could always double back and touch on more of these topics and stuff and
I think
and
like
aspects and then
I think like these types of important things, sobriety, like this is an ongoing topic. This is an ongoing battle. So it's something that we should still check in on from time to time. How we check for inventory. It's like that's part of the inventory too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like, oh, this is the only time we're going to talk about it.
No, totally. That's what I'm saying. Like if people have more like they want to hear certain stories or they want to hear, other areas or avenues of sobriety that I haven't been able to touch on here today. Cause like, me, if it wasn't for you, I'd just keep going and going and going and going.
Fine with
me. No, I know, but it's good for me to kind of pull myself back because it's easy for me to just get on a roll. But no, I think to sectioning it off and to be able to bring up things as time goes forward. And these right now are my testimonials of how I've had my experience and my revelations of the things that have altered and changed in my life and led me to where I am now and where my pursuit in sobriety and also to say like this is always something I say because I don't want to let people down if they are like, oh, like in a year from now, if I choose to have a drink, like my pursuit of sobriety is serving me in ways that I never thought I would get to a place prior to doing what I was doing. And so right now I am like healing myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and getting to being the best version of myself. And the idea of being intoxicated and being drunk and not being in control and having full faculty over my body and my mind does not sound appealing to me. It doesn't. I like being in control. I like feeling like my thoughts are my thoughts and I get to navigate and dictate where they go instead of being swayed by alcohol, making rash decisions. And so from my distance from alcohol and seeing that and remembering, certain stories and ways that I've moved about the world when I was intoxicated, although served its weird purpose and it's in that moment, it also showed me that like where I'm headed now, I need to have like all hands on deck and let me bridge this into a potential next conversation because I do want the next time we get to sit down you to talk about the cancer and I have some questions for you and I was hoping we would get to that today.
No,
but
we get to the next episode.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I think it'll be interesting for me to talk about. If not on the next pod, then maybe we even take a small section just to see where I'm at with it. But if not, on the third whatever pod that we do, I should have more of a concise idea of where I'm going with it. But more and more, I think that my next hiatus, along with alcohol, just to add on, is going to be my separation from social media.
Mm-hmm. Because this podcast is on social media.
Yeah, I have YouTube. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about like the TikTok and the Instagram.
I'll run it for us.
Yeah. Like it's just at least those, like the micro posting ones. Like I have a YouTube page that I think that if I am going, because I can't not create.
Yeah.
I am in the pursuit right now, not to make this about me, so I'm sorry guys, but the other thing that I'm in the pursuit of right now that I think I'm just about ready to put pen to paper is my next book that that's going to be a philosophical, kind of like voyage pilgrimage. It's going to be a novella.
Oh.
Right. That's what the smaller story like books. So it's gonna have a mix between philosophy and poetry, along with actual story and dialogue and characters. And I have them all written out. I've been working on it for about a year, leading up, not knowing how I wanted to go about it. So I did like my illustrations and my style of drawing, which is like line work. I've been obsessed with since I was a kid, and then it's manifested into like drawing figures and faces. And then I never know what they're going to be until the pen stops. And so I never pick my hand up off the page. So whatever happens comes in a fluid, I think, transcendent manner of how I'm feeling.
It's a flow state.
Yeah. And so whatever ends up happening, then I name the character of whatever feels like that's what it looks like. And then
this pod is a flow state.
Yeah, exactly. And so now with these characters that I have, I've built the archetypes of who they are and who they are to this character, which is about a boy, and he doesn't have a name. He's a boy, and the pilgrimage and the voyage that he's on in this desolate landscape is to figure out who he is and to transcend from a boy into a man. And it's not going to be gender specific to where it's like written exclusively for a man, although it will probably have more utility from a man's perspective because I am a man writing it. But I think that through the philosophical tone in which it is for like finding yourself and enlightenment of facing these things is going to be, beneficial for all people in all walks of life at any time in your life. So that's what I think I'm called to do next. I've been working on it mentally for a while, and I think I'm just about ready to start writing. And I already designed and edited the book cover.
Hell yeah.
I just need to finish it. So
I'm going to need to see.
Yeah, I'll show you. And then yeah, I'll give updates on that. I did write The Dance Between Wings and Wind, which is volume 1 of my poetry
available
books.
now on Amazon.
It is available. I'm a self-published author, but an author nonetheless. I'll take it. But yeah, anybody that's interested, we could put that link in the description of this video. You guys can tap in and support, view it, read it if you want.
It's a good read. It's short. It's easy to read.
Yeah. It's a spiritual kind of like, what do you want to say, like a prelude to my writing, and speaking about like the transcendence and questioning of purpose and direction and everything that you know about me now from these podcasts from when we started. The book's already been out. So it's funny going back and reading the poetry book, you can see where my mind was breaking and building to from front to back to seeing then now where I am as a human outside of the book from where I was when I wrote the book is pretty fucking cool. And that's like one of the things I like about the writing experience and just doing it in a manner that I'm taking all the things that I've done for years, it's been on paper, and putting it into a collection and refining that. And also with these new thoughts and new ideas, and like the one that I'm currently saying, and I won't say the title yet, I'll tell you the title, but that now is from a place of exactly where I am moving forward. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting. But anyways, I'm done fucking yapping.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it, man.
Yeah, right on, bro. I appreciate you, dog. And appreciate you guys. And yeah, next go around, we're going to be talking about some health stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll be Shock driving that pod.
Yes, sir.
He's going to put us up on game.
Got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. But so thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys were able to find something useful from Kevy's story that you could apply to yourselves in your own lives. Dealing with it's a thing that I've noticed a lot of newer people in this next generation are just being abstinent from alcohol and altogether in general, which is kind of cool to see. But just getting an inside look of somebody who's been through the ringer, has had like a pretty difficult life growing up, and also partook in alcohol throughout the majority of your life. You know, and just
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
you on the other side, seeing the growth, man, it's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, thanks, dog.
Love
Love you, brother.
you too,
Love
man.
you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you guys for
hanging out
tapping
and
in.
joining us.
Gone. Doo doo doo.